Hello, I'm Captain Vile. Now, people often ask me, Captain Vile, what's it like to be a YouTuber for 2 years? Now, it's a very lengthy explanation, but I'll begin. In order to fully explain this, you're going to have to close your eyes. Unless, of course, you're listening to this while driving or playing a video game. In which case, I'm sure the devs don't want you to do that, so keep those peepers open. Now, picture yourself in a rickety old rowboat, floating down a river. There's a cooler with Pepsi in it by your feet. Now, don't reach for any. It's covering a leak and we need the weight. You put aside the sense of unease and bask in the warm sun. Suddenly, the boat rocks. The cooler slides to the other side of the boat. Water flows onto the floor. Your ankles are claimed by the liquid's cold grasp, and you move the cooler back into place before the warmth of your shins is too claimed by the river. Looking over the side, you see a red glowing eye through the murky waters, staring at you with rage and hunger. You go to grab an oar, but the creature rises closer to the surface, its scaly hide becoming more visible, and the water around you begins to ripple. The bellow of the beast quiets, and so too does the water. You look at each other, understanding the stalemate you both find yourself in. As you retract your arm, the monster lowers deeper into the depths until its image fades from view. Then your boat rocks again, not from an attempt from the beast, but from hitting a dock. It seems you've arrived. You can get out of the boat now. Oh, but before you do, we don't need the boat, so help yourself to a Pepsi, please. I'd wait on opening that, though. It wasn't exactly a smooth ride. As you pocket the Pepsi, the boat fills with water, and as it sinks, bubbles rise to the surface. Its way of cursing you for dooming it to an eternity in the watery depths. Let's move along. We're on a schedule. You walk on a dirt path in the middle of a field. The grass gets taller the longer you walk out. It grows and grows until it's up to your waist. Okay, now, see that path? The one in the middle of the field. It's only visible from the grass being beaten down from how many times it's been walked over. This path goes a different way than the dirt one, so we don't need to worry about how tall the grass will get. As you walk, the grass gets more and more sparse, until only tufts of it appear beside you as you travel down the path. Gradually, the trail gets higher. There's a hill coming up, and at the top of that hill, an old cabin. Ah, we're here. Now, you may be tempted to drink that Pepsi now, but please hold off, it's important later. Oh yes, you must be wondering about the cabin, where all the color is. A completely monotone cabin on a green hill, not something you see every day. Well, that's simple. This structure has been forgotten by God. Only I know what's in it, but you can trust me. Come on, in we go. Inside the cabin, there's a staircase going down, and a record player beside it. There's no other furniture, as there's no need for anything else. Down we go. Chop chop. Coming to the bottom, you see a maze of mirrors with a dirt floor, and a tree reflecting on every single one. And you too, of course, but don't try and find me in one of those. We don't have the time for that. Why build this place, you ask? Well, I wanted to have the illusion of a forest, but I couldn't find one, and only had the one tree. Now, you're going to want to make 4 rights, a left, 3 rights, and then see a broken mirror. It is a maze, after all. The broken mirror, of course. Push it. A hidden door. Now come on, step through. You find yourself in a dusty old hidden room. In the corner, there's an elevated patch of dirt. Now, start digging. Don't worry, it's shallow. Ah, you found it. Just brush some more aside. Now, before you open that, take the Pepsi out of your pocket and place it on the ground. Alright, open her up. Staring into the open coffin, you see a vast darkness. Darkness fails to even describe what you see. It is a true absence of light, an abyss underground. Suddenly, an arm grabs you by the throat. A body emerges from out of the void. It looks up at you and it climbs out of the pit of shadow. It's you. You are staring at yourself climbing out of a coffin, gripping yourself by the throat. But there's no malice on their face, no emotion. They stare at you with empty eyes as they push you into the coffin. Looking around, there is nothing down there. It's as if you've been pushed into space. You float lower from the opening and look up to see that the lid has been closed. The muffled sound of dirt moving can be heard. It's their turn to run around in your shoes. But don't feel bad. Next year, they'll forget this event. And when I lead them back here, they'll have a Pepsi waiting for you. This feeling you're experiencing right now is what it feels to be a YouTuber for 2 years. Were I able to capture the essence of that feeling in an instant, instead of having to explain this story every single time, I'd be a rich man. But I can't, so I'm not. Come back next year, and maybe I'll be able to explain what it feels like to be a YouTuber for 3 years. But until then, thank you for watching, and good Vile.